Hello, everyone. Welcome to Banter Blitz on ICC, on Twitch TV, and for those of you who have missed out on the live stream, hello, YouTube, and thanks for joining in, clicking on the video. I'm Grandmaster David Smerdon, one of the regular Banter Blitzers on ICC. I'm the Aussie GM who's out for blood tonight, and I'm sure many of my challenges are thinking exactly the same. We usually have a bit of fun. We're going to have a couple of hours, bit of blitz, hopefully some crazy openings and some tactics, and undoubtedly some stories that I'll be telling during the games. All right, so the queue is open for those of you who've lucky enough to be watching live. If you're on ICC, jump into channel 3. You got all the instructions there. A whole bunch of people have already jumped into the queue, so we're almost ready to go. But give yourself a chance. Jump in and match me. As you can probably see on your screen, we're already up and running, but there's still a chance to jump in the queue, I think. So you can, I'm sure you'll be able to sort that out. And meanwhile, first game up, Cookies and Cream, who has been very vocal in the chat channel before the games got going, which is good. I mean, the Banter Blitz, right? We got to add the banter into Banter Blitz. So away we go. Cookies and Cream playing. Oh, usually I can tell the countries that people are from, but at the moment, for some reason on my screen, I can't. So usually I try to make some ridiculous reference to whatever country they come from. But Cookies and Cream, I have no idea. All I can say is that you're a flavor of ice cream. But we are off with, I was going to say, a standard routine opening, but then F5 has sort of taken me completely by surprise. I've seen pretty much every move that you can play in that position, and I have never, ever, ever seen that before. Wow, it sounds a bit like a Meatloaf song. That's an amazing move, F5. Like I said, we were just in standard waters there, you know, as boring as you could get, E4, E5, playing a bit of a Scotch gambit, but this F5 move, I have my doubts about it. I'll be honest with you. But I played what seemed to be the most natural counter, and Cookies and Cream having a bit of a think there as well. So I have a feeling that my ice cream flavored opponent might also be on their own at the moment as well, which is going to make for an interesting bit of chess. I have no idea where my opponent is going to castle, though. I could have taken the pawn on F5 there, but then Black would have played D5, kicking my bishop away, and my bishop on C4 is a beautiful piece at the moment, just controlling that light square diagonal from A2 to G8, preventing my opponent from castling. So I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, queen sack opportunity, but it doesn't quite work. Saw a little. I am a sucker for queen sacks. If I get the chance to sacrifice my queen, I will, even if it's unsound. But this one wasn't quite working. You know what? I think it was working. Oh man, I could have done it. I could have taken the knight then, pawn takes queen, and then play F7 check. His king would have to come up the board to E7, and then bishop G5 check. Boom. Would have been a piece up, would have been game over. But I missed it. That is a real blow. Man, I love queen sack so much. It kind of annoys me. Anyway, so be it. I'll have to try and play the game in a more orthodox fashion. But I'm so grumpy. I just love a queen sack. Okay. Come on, Dave. Get over it. Right. All right. Bishop B5 check. I'm going to try and play a little bit more sensibly there. It's just that I don't often get the chance to do a big queen sack, and that one would have been just pure gold. So, anyway, not to worry. Come on, relax. I've got an extra pawn. I finally picked up that baby on F5, and position's probably still winning, but that would have been good. What now? I think there's a chance to throw in a little trick. I always like a good trick. I'm going to offer the E5 pawn. I think it's way too hot, and my opponent correctly decided the same. However, incorrectly decided the best way to decline it was to play castle queenside, because then boom, pow, bishop G5, and I'm picking up the exchange. So in the end, this is going to be a reasonably comfortable game, I think. I mean, now the position is completely winning, but it ain't no queen sack, is it? Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. You know what? I'm going to try and make up for it by sacrificing my queen at least once over the next hour and 50 minutes. That is a promise to you from me that I will, at some point in this tonight's broadcast, as compensation for missing out there, I will sacrifice my queen. Sounds like quite a ridiculous thing to say, so let's find out whether I'll live to regret it. But okay, back to where we are at the moment. Like I said, pretty much business as usual, extra exchange. Going to need a little bit of technique, unfortunately, because my opponent's got a reasonable position, but he's just popped another pawn, which will make my life a lot easier. Yeah, all looking good now. Chance to... Oh, I got a couple of juicy options there. I'll throw in this knight check. A few people in the chat just trying to work out about the US Championship at the moment, how they can watch it, because that is... actually, I just played a silly move then. I should be a little bit more careful. That was a dumb one. What did you do that for? I thought oh, there it is. Oh, that's a nice move. C4 check. Boom. Pin, double pin. That's a good one. Sorry. Yeah, the US champ starting at the moment. Super strong. Ridiculously strong tournament. Caruana, Nakamura. So, and can you believe a zillion billion time winner Gatakamsky, not even in the top 3 seeds. Hugely competitive. Bunch of people in 2 out of the 2 at the moment. So a few people asking about that. Yeah, you will be able to watch the games in ICC. It's not going to be any commentary, but you're going to be able to see them live broadcast. ICC actually one of the major sponsors of the event. And, oh, man, it is such a good tournament. I am super excited for it. Tiny bit back to the chess. Made into after rook h3 check, so I'm going to pre-move that baby, and we'll call this one quits. Thanks for the game, cookies and cream. But, yeah, if you are watching live, stick around because, like I said, live broadcast of the US Champs round 3, I believe it is, coming up soon. You can even check out the official commentary, which is pretty good. Yasser Serouin, Jennifer Shahadi, and Maurice Ashley doing what they do best. Can be a little bit American at times, if you know what I'm saying, but it's good stuff. They're a talented bunch, so check that out. All right. Nezmetdinov. Nezmetdinov. I'm not entirely sure. 1, 2, 3. However, if I am not mistaken, this is the name of a super famous chess player. Oh man, I wish that there was. I wish there was someone who's a bit of a chess history buff around to tell me about this, because I believe that this player, Nezmetdinov, that we've got in the handle of my opponent here, I believe he's famous for queen sacrifices against grandmasters. I think that's right. I could be wrong. I'm pretty bad with chess history, but I think that's right. So I wonder if someone a bit smarter than me could find out about that, because that'd be kind of interesting to know. I think that he even sacrificed his queen against Mikhail Tal, the famous Latvian world champion at some point. So the point behind my rambling is that it's kind of appropriate that I'll be playing against someone with that handle, seeing as one of my goals for tonight is to sacrifice my queen. So that'd be interesting. Don't know if it's true or not, but we'll try and, well, if someone knows, then please let me know. Okay, let's have a chat about what's going on in the chess. We've got this really weird opening where my... did I just drop something there? Oh, no, it's all okay. Well, my opponent played the c3 Sicilian, which is an opening I really like playing for white myself. I tried to play 2d5, which is pretty much the most natural way that you can try and play against it. And then things went a little bit weird, because my opponent played this move 3e5, offering a transposition to the advanced French. I decided I didn't want to do that, so I played the move d4, and we got this bizarre pawn structure that's really unusual for chess. And now here we are in this totally weird position. Some sort of, well, we're now in an endgame. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm feeling okay about my chances here. Really tempted to play the move d3, but I have a feeling it's probably just bad. But that's the principled move. And, I'm so tempted. It must be a bad move, though. It can't be right. I should just play a5. I'm going to play a5, but maybe on the next move, if he allows me, I might play d3. It feels like the nice move to play. Because my opponent hasn't developed any of his queenside pieces, and d3 would really it'd be a pawn sacrifice, but it would really cramp up my opponent. He's given me another chance to do it. Oh, I can't really turn it down a second time, can I? No, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it. I feel like a little kid shoplifting or something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Anyway, d3. And now the key point is that if rook takes d3, I can play knight takes. So he's done the right thing there, which is to play g3, just defend his pawn. That means that I'm going to snap off that b4 guy. But now things are a little bit complicated. I'm going to play something a bit wild here, g5, because I feel my opponent's position is not very stable, perhaps close to crumbling. If I could just find a way to really get things going here. Yeah, that's a good move, isn't it? Oh, it's a bit of a pain. Has my opponent got an extra pawn? I think he does, but my knight on d5 is a beast, so I'm pretty happy about that one. I'm going to take that pawn off. I don't know if that was such a good move. I guess he's going for knight c3 for his next move. He wants to get rid of my beast, which I can understand. Yep, he's done it. But I didn't think it was such a good move because of knight b4, but it might be okay for him. Might be that my opponent's actually going to get a bit lucky here. Yeah, he's going to get a bit lucky. Oh, this is a bit of a shame. I'm going to go knight b4, but that's a bit risky now. He's going to go rook f3. Yeah, I'm not so confident anymore about things. My opponent's done this pretty well. He's got to go rook f3. He's taken a little bit too long for this move. Ooh. Now that I did not expect. I thought knight c2 was winning for me here. What have I... Oh, bishop c5! How did you... Oh, come on. This is not a good sign for my... for my performance. If I just missed the move bishop c5 on the last move, would you believe it? My opponent's given me another chance. I'm going to whip that baby and have another go at things, but I cannot believe that I just missed it first time round. Anyway, I think that... yeah, I'm going to come good here because I'm going to pick up an entire rook and the game's going to be over. But from a personal perspective, it's just a little bit concerning that I would miss two great chances so far in this game, in this session of Banter Blitz. So that's a little bit worrying, like I said. Anyway, all's well that ends well, and I'm just about to round off this game here. My opponent is probably going to resign now, so I managed to escape any serious ramifications. I think it's probably a time to call it quits on this game. My opponent's playing on. Might have to play a few more moves, but the game is definitely over. He's not going to resign. He's going to fight on to the bitter end, but I think this might be the time for resignation. He's going to drop another pawn. I can sense it. This is the moment. I sensed wrong. No, he played a move and then resigned. Okay, thanks for the game. Nice handle. I wish someone could... If someone knows, you've got to tell me about that, whether Smerdon was that famous guy who used to sacrifice his queen. Usually he'd get two pieces for it or something like that. Righto, okay, a4, h5. a4, h5 had a bit to say in the chat beforehand as well. Ready for liftoff, he said. Ready for liftoff? Are we hot? Well, we are hot indeed because we're on for a wing gambit to start us off. I love the wing gambit. Oh, how good is a wing gambit? And that's what I've gone for here. What is going on? This is some crazy stuff. I I have no idea what is happening here. I'm going to get my knight on c4. This is, I mean, move forward. We're already in uncharted waters. I have no idea what's happening, but I have a feeling I'm going to win my opponent's queen. That is the. Yep, it's going to happen. Let's just think this through, Dave. Don't rush it. Boom, boom, boom. Game over, sunshine. This is going to be a quickie. This is going to be a quickie. Oh, yeah. It's not a queen sacrifice, but it's a queen trap. I'll take that every day of the week. Poor A4H5. Oh, man, he gave such good banter beforehand as well. I really appreciated it. Some good comments, good banter, good energy. But it's gone pear-shaped for him today because 10 moves in and he's blundered his queen, and that is a real shame. I feel a little bit guilty. I would feel much more guilty if it wasn't such a beautiful little queen trap. Um, Poor A4H5. I think after knight F3 check, he only analysed in his head the move queen takes and not the move pawn takes. And unfortunately, that's that. 10 moves, game over. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Actually, I feel a little bit bad for that one. A4H5, have a go at jumping in the queue. See if you've got any more space. It'd be great if, for the, how good would it be for the final game of the match if we got a chance to have a rematch against each other? That's out of my control. The system does what the system's told, but if have a go anyway, and let's see whether we can get a rematch going, because I wouldn't mind playing you again. All right, Nick and Witty Arto, another American we've played a couple of times before. Wake up, your turn. Let's do this. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, no. No, no, no. Mine disappeared. Hopefully he comes back. I'm just going to try and wake him up. Oh, it's always such a shame. Hopefully if he jumps on the next couple of seconds, then I can boost his clock up again. But I have a feeling he's not paying attention. A bit of a shame. Oh, well, so be it. Next one. Man, so usually I'm not one of the better banner blitzers in terms of scoreboard. I usually on average drop a game at some point, which costs ICC a month's free membership to whoever's good enough to beat me. But last month, something a bit weird happened. I smashed it. I don't know what was going on with me, but I kicked butt and I won every single game, which never happens. So I guess statistically that probably means that I should lose 2 this time. No, come on. But yeah, usually I'm dropping a couple. Last time I had a really good run and it felt good. So I'm going to try and do the same again this time. So far I've had Lady Luck smiling my way, especially that last game before last. But let's see if I can keep that record up here. I've managed to pick up a pawn. My opponent's last move there, not a good one. So things looking good from my perspective here. I think I can be pretty happy with the way this has turned out. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Got an extra pawn, and I don't think my opponent's going to get it back anytime soon, which is the most important thing from my perspective. I'd love to get a knight to d4. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to do it here. Oh, knight d3. Yeah, let's throw that guy in. Knight d3, that's a good one. Actually, in hindsight, my move c6 was a bit wet. Probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway, knight d3 now. Should I take with the pawn? Probably the pawn's the way to go here. And I'm not sure my opponent should have gone all the way back there. But anyway, so be it. Let's get that bishop out. Things looking pretty good now with that extra pawn on the board. My opponent's playing quickly. That's going to help. I should say Monarch is the name coming from the US. I really got to get my pawns going. We're in a somewhat boring endgame here. But that's okay. I just make sure that I don't do anything silly here. I think it's okay. I think everything's okay. Yeah, my pawn's quite weak on d3, which I don't like very much. I have a feeling I might lose that guy as the game goes on, but that's all right with me actually. I don't mind losing it. Actually, now I'm not sure I'm going to lose it at all because that was a very strange little sequence from my opponent, which has given me some hope. Now, what's the best way to do this? There. This king and pawn endgame is winning. This king and pawn endgame is winning. Is it? I hope it is. I think it is. I think it is. I think it is. Let's have a king and pawn endgame. I think my opponent, he's got to take the pawn. He's got to try, but I'm pretty sure this endgame is just losing. I hope so anyway. Now, typically speaking, how would I play this? G5? Yeah, I think the move G5 looks pretty good here, actually. Oh, not quite sure that was the best way to go. But anyway, yeah, my opponent played a good move there, actually. Still, this king and pawn endgame feels like it should be winning. I've got that outside pass pawn. Everyone likes an outside pass pawn. And my poor opponent, he has used barely any time at all. He's played incredibly quickly, but I don't think it's going to help him now. All this extra time is sort of going to go to waste here, and my king's just going to go bloop across the board to the left. Well, the left from my perspective, probably different depending on where you're watching. And that's going to be all she wrote, I think. Yeah, there's a couple of ways to win this. I think the simplest is just to play f5. But again, it's not so much the extra pawn, which is, of course, good, but the fact that it is an outsider, an outside pass pawn, that is the thing that really helps. And now I've got two outside pass pawns, and that's really too much. So now I've got the B pawn that's going to come good as well as the G pawn. So not too much my opponent can do about this now. Might just get that G pawn going, finish things off as quickly as possible. I'm pretty sure my opponent's going to try E6 just to see what happens, but not much that can happen now. It's going to run away. Yeah, there's pawns that just split too far. Not much hope there. You might throw in an E7 just to see. No, he's called it quits. Thanks to the game, Monarch. Now, these king and pawn endgames, when you've got an outside pass pawn, they're usually lost. Well, so far so good, huh? Poor A4, A5, just having a chat in the chat there. Oh, I still feel bad, but still, it was kind of cute, wasn't it? Trapping the queen like that. All right, Abischard. Abischard and I have played before. I would remember that patriotic American Eagle profile picture anyway. We're going to play a nice, boring, professional-looking opening. I'm not even sure what they call this. Fianchetto Grunfeld, anti-Grunfeld. At the moment, we're just mirroring each other's moves, which is a bit boring. Hopefully, at some point, one of us deviates. It's really my opponent's prerogative here to deviate. Because at the moment things aren't too excited. Yeah, he's gone for E6. That's probably a good move. And now I've got a couple of options. I can play B3 or I can play the more ambitious move, which of course is E4, but I'm not entirely convinced that that's the way to go, E4. I might just play a little bit boring here and play B3. You know, my chances of sacrificing a queen in this game are not looking very good, unfortunately. I probably should have played E4 anyway. I mean, it probably needed to be played. Now I've got this Slightly strange situation. I didn't think that my opponent could actually get away with knight e4 because I thought that e4 pawn was going to be too weak. And you can see here, I've played knight g5. The key point is that f5 is not possible because of knight takes e6. So you can't defend the pawn with the pawn, which would be the safest way to do it. Knight f6 is what my opponent's played, and that's probably the next best thing. Uh, but, but, what happens if I just play e3? What are you going to do then? Can I just do that? It's all a bit... Yeah, my opponent's not doing so badly here. It's making my life a tiny bit tricky. And I'm not sure what I should do. I'm going to play something a little bit wet. I'm going to play bishop e3. Queen d5 is sort of the obvious counter. And I'm going to answer that by just playing queen c2 and trying to pick up the pawn that way. If my opponent's clever, he'll probably seek to just eliminate my bishop on e3 with some knight d5 or knight g4. Try and get some compensation on the fact there that he's got the bishop pair. But he didn't do that. He played h6, and now I don't see where the compensation's coming from because I want a pawn. It's not a particularly exciting game, but a pawn is a pawn is a pawn, as they say, as I'm sure somebody says. And now it does look like this game should be pretty comfortable. I don't see how my opponent's going to make my life difficult now. Going to just annoy his rook a tiny bit. And I could play... Yeah, actually, I kind of did something a bit silly there. Did something a bit silly. And I might have to go back again. I don't really want to go back again, but let's go back again. Yeah, that was that was a strange little passage of play. My opponent obviously wants to play the move b6 or bishop d7, which I actually didn't really consider, but that looks totally fine as well. And basically, I just want to get into a situation where my extra pawn is nice and safe for me, and I think that is the way that we are about to head. Now, like I said, my opponent is making my life a tiny bit difficult at the moment, but I'm going to take with the queen. It's not playing too bad. Now I'm threatening bishop takes g6, making use of that new pin. I should be able to just swap off into a nice boring endgame here. That's what I'm going to do. Not particularly exciting, but it should be pretty comfortable, this endgame. It's 2 extra pawns now. No entry squares for my opponent's rooks. Should be pretty comfortable, but unfortunately it's going to be a matter of technique, which is a standard saying people use when it means it's going to be quite boring to win. I think my opponent should play a5 here, but after rook c4, yeah, it is indeed a matter of technique. On the other hand, my opponent just gave me another pawn. Why does he keep giving me all these pawns? I don't understand this. I'm going to keep taking them. That's 3 pawns now. You can't just keep giving me all these little guys. And now I've got a 4 versus 2 majority on the king side. I'm going to push that baby home. He's dropped back. That's a good move. I'm going to put that bishop maybe on, probably on f4. And then we'll get things rolling. He swapped off the rooks. I must admit, I have my doubts about that. But okay, I guess the position is technically lost anyway. And the sad part about these sort of technique positions is that there's not really too much I can say that's going to make things much more interesting. But okay, let's just run my pieces down. I'll try and play as clinically as I can. Hopefully we can wrap this one up without too many problems here. Let's get those pawns going. About time. Okay, all right. F5, that means that this game is going to move along a bit quicker now. Because I've got the passed H pawn going. Yeah, that's a good time to resign, actually. Things were starting to look a bit grim. Abischard, I have to say that the eagle profile picture scares me a bit, but he or she does have a very nice post-game message that he sends automatically out, no matter who their opponent is, which says, win, lose, or draw, it was an honor to play you, which I think is kind of a nice little touch. Thanks to the game. Wasn't a particularly scintillating game, or scintillating. I can never pronounce that word, let alone spell it correctly. But hopefully we're going to get into a little bit more of the coffee house tactics that I prefer. Muhit. Yeah, we've played a few times Muhit from Turkey. Yeah, okay, D4. Let's all right, let's play F5. I want to mix this one up a little bit. Muhit's had some good results against me in the past. We've had some good games. And I'm supposed to sacrifice my queen at some point. I'm kind of worried that if it gets to the last round, I'll just have to engineer some way to sacrifice my queen, which might be a little bit awkward. We're in some weird Nimzo-Dutch hybrid at the moment. So the Nimzo-Indian would be this position, but with the pawn back on F7. Instead, we've got this hybrid because my pawn's already snuck out to F5. Does have the advantage that I can play the early H6 like this. And we get this sort of strange structure here, which is not at all obvious to me how to play these positions. I think I'm supposed to play E5 in these positions, but I'm never entirely sure. And then the problem is now this Queen A4 check, which means I gotta snap that baby off on C3 a little earlier than I would have liked. And usually that knight should come back to B8 to go to D7 and try and come around to C5. But I'm going to play slightly more aggressively than usual here. Whoa, my opponent seems to have the same idea because that is a hugely aggressive move. Very unusual for this sort of position. I did not expect that one. Wow. Well, my king's got to go kingside. I have no choice there, but my opponent's gone the opposite side castling approach, which is, like I said, very unusual for this structure. And now I guess he's wanting to go for the E4 break. That doesn't scare me too much. I'm kind of okay if that happens. So let's go C6. I got to bust this open. His king is slightly more exposed than mine. And I want to get a B5 move happening at some point. Opposite side casting, that queenside casting move is completely foreign to this sort of structure. Usually you should try and go where your king's going to be safer. And here on the king side for white, you've got that little wall of pawns on H2, G2, F2, and also on E3 there, just buffering the king from any sort of attack. Going queenside, things are a little bit more exposed. So it's also a more aggressive decision because you've got your rook immediately going on to D1, where it's far more active. Whereas if you had a castle the other way, it would have been less active. But still, hang on a second, hold the phone. Is that playable? Can you do that? Really? That's it's perhaps okay. I thought it was a little bit too risky, but I think my opponent's going to get away with it, that move. I thought it could have been a problem, but it looks to be okay. And now I've got a choice about how to open things up. And I really want to play the move B5, but it seems like it's probably just a bad move. But it's the most appealing move. Oh, okay, let's do it. B5. It can't be the correct move. I think the best move was actually just to play bishop D7 with a view to playing B5 in a slightly more favorable moment. My opponent he keeps giving me opportunities here that I didn't expect. This is another one here, another opportunity that I didn't expect to get. Yeah, see things. You can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm really trying to open things up where my opponent's king is. So on that queen side, I'm trying to make as much space as I possibly can. Uh, and that seems to be working pretty well for me so far, although my opponent's managed to hold it together for the moment. But you see that c5 square? It's always sort of been an outpost in this game, but I haven't had a chance to put any pieces there. But now I want to get my rook to c5. That's what I really want. And my opponent's trying best to just keep the position together, but things are starting to look a little bit dicey for him. He's still doing an okay job of things, I gotta say. I have a chance here to swap off the bishops with bishop a6, but I don't want to do that just yet. I'm going to just shuffle my king across to h8 to get it out of that pin, so I threaten bishop takes d5. Oh, but he hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen it, and now I can play bishop takes d5. That's an error from my opponent there. I guess he was under a little bit of pressure as it was, but still. And now he's played an even worse move because I get to throw in the move e4, and now b2 is under attack. So things are starting to fall apart a little bit here for my opponent. Queen goes back to c2. He's desperately trying to hold things together, but every move he plays just seems to make things just a tiny bit worse for him. Now his queen's at another pin. I'm down to under a minute, so I should probably shut my mouth for a little bit and try and work on this position. But I think it should be over now. And I can't see a way out for my opponent. And now his queen is going to be overworked. If knight takes c4, then rook takes c4, and the queen can't defend c4 and b2 at the same time. So that's a bit of a shame. He's gone for e5, a desperate sort of attempt to keep things together. It's not such a bad move, actually, but I think it might run into a bit of trickery. I'm just trying to work this out. If that's winning, I think it is winning. He's going to go rook e1, and I'm going to go bishop e2. And unfortunately for him, just when things were starting to turn around, turns out that his queen is trapped. Oh. Thought it was trapped. Apparently it wasn't. That's a shame. Actually, I really did think it was trapped, so that's a bit weird. Oh, well, not to worry. My opponent, he lives just a tiny bit longer. What about now? Is the queen trapped now? I think the queen is trapped now. Maybe I got a second chance to trap it. This could be my second trapped queen for tonight. Having a pretty good run of things. There's not much you can do about that. Sometimes things just don't go your way. Oh, he's found a way out. Oh, man, he's found a way out. His queen's not going to be trapped after all. Look at that. He's going to get to play queen d1. I just can't trap it. Oh, well. Fortunately, my opponent loses on time, so I managed to sneak through there. Whew. All right, J. Russell 2. J. Russell 2, we have played a couple of times, haven't we? Had a few games. It's always good when we get a couple of good regulars on here. All right, so I'm going to go for another wing, just to see what happens. I love the wing gambit, and it's time to get a bit more action happening with the tactics. It sort of suits my coffee house sort of style here. This is the sort of structure you want to get in the wing. You've given up a pawn on the queen side, but you've got big control of the center, and usually you try and break up the queen side a bit more with this move a3, which is what I've just gone for. And this position is typically quite comfortable for white, in my opinion, when black plays reasonably meekly against the wing. So here we are. Now, be interesting to see how my opponent chooses to play this. It gives me the chance for the early e5, which I always find a little bit risky. I'm not going to take it today. Although I was very, very tempted to play e5 there, which usually gives white a small but nagging edge. Oh, he's given me another chance to do e5. You can't give me all these chances. One of these days I'm going to have to take it. Oh, I hate these situations where you know what the best move is, but you really just don't want to play it. Here, I don't really want to do it. I'm not going to do it. Why should I? Why should I do what everyone else expects you to do? Well, here's why. Because now I've got to suffer. Yeah, I didn't really think that through, and now I've got a slightly unpleasant position to deal with, which all could have been avoided if I had have played the move I was supposed to. So, it's a bit of a lesson there. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, actually. Things are not going according to plan here. Now, I know that d5, again, is the move that I should play, but I really don't want to play it, so I'm going to put my rook on d1, offering another pawn, albeit only temporarily this time. And he's gone ahead and taken it, which is what he should do. I'm going to try and get it back as quickly as possible. And now d5 is begging to be played by my opponent. Let's see if he goes that way. But it really has to be d5, I think. Let's see what he goes for. But yeah, my opponent's done quite well. The good thing about the wing gambit is that even if things don't go so well for you as the white player, which is what's happened here, you've always got that long-term compensation based on the weak black queenside pawns. So I'm not really in a huge danger of losing at the moment, I would say. But yeah, I could have definitely played this a little bit better than I have. My opponent sort of kind of nicely gave me the d6 pawn, which I definitely preferred to the d4 pawn. So that's a little gift. And now he's given me the rook. I don't know what happened there. My opponent just went a little bit crazy for no good reason. I'm not sure what all that was about, but anyway, somehow I've been allowed back into this game. So forget about not being in danger of losing. Suddenly now I've got the extra exchange. So things have definitely taken a turn in a favorable direction for me. That was very weird. Still, my opponent has a pawn for the exchange and reasonably solid position. So it's not over yet, but that was... I don't know what happened. I think Jay Russell might have just had a little bit of a mental block for a second there and has given me some good chances. I'm going to get my king out of this. Probably don't need to, but I'm a little bit worried about this diagonal, because I don't have any protection on the dark squares now that I've lost my dark squared bishop and my knight, so I'm going to get my king onto a light square if I can, even though it sort of lines up with that bishop on c6. I feel I've got enough protection to deal with it. My opponent's got a very solid position, I have to say, but I should be able to work on that d4 pawn, and that should get me home. Fingers crossed. All right. What I really want to do is just get the queens off the board. That would definitely make my life a bit easier. My rook's a little bit awkward out on f5 as well, but it's got a couple of threats of its own, some ideas of e5 at some point, so I want to keep it there if I can. If my opponent plays bishop d7, then I probably can just play rook takes d4. That was kind of my big idea. So he doesn't allow that. He plays bishop b5, but that's just a pawn, though, I think. That's a little bit unfortunate for my opponent, who's started to slip a little bit, I think, with his tactics. And it's a bit of a shame. So now I picked up that pawn, and that's going to end the game, I would say. there's not much to play for now. Oh, it's a bit of a strange one. Usually, yeah, J. Russell, just a couple of moves there which didn't seem to make much sense, and that's a little unlike him. So yeah, maybe a little lapse in concentration happens to all of us from time to time. But I think, yeah, there's not much to talk about here because J. Russell running a bit out of time has given me another pawn. I could have also taken the guy on b7, but I'll take that one next move if I get the chance. And that'll be it. Yeah, thanks for the game, J. Russell. Sorry about that. Couple little slip-ups there in the middle, but everything seemed to be going okay. Unfortunately, it was not the crazy tactics that I keep promising, and I still haven't sacrificed my queen, so I'm really going to have to find a way to make that happen. And I'm starting to get desperate because I'm getting to a period where I might have to sacrifice it in the last game, no matter what. All right, it's always good to play against a Scandinavian. I'm going to play a Scandinavian against a Scandinavian. My Finnish opponent, Saira. I guess it's Saira. And I'm going to play a particular Scandinavian that I usually play once per Banter Blitz just to plug my own product because I've pretty much trademarked this opening. So much so that some chess publishers decided to allow me to write a book that I rather narcissistically named Smerdon Scandinavian. So here we are. Now, actually, the reason I played it was not necessarily to plug my opening, but because I really wanted to sacrifice my queen, and there are some great queen sacrifices in the Scandinavian with bishop g4. But unfortunately, my opponent played 4 bishop e2, which is really quite wet and means that it's extremely difficult to make much of the position. Black is slightly better, but it's really nothing to write home about, and the chances of a queen sacrifice are next to 0. So that's a bit of a shame. Yeah. We've got this almost symmetrical pawn structure here. I've got the slightly better bishop, which means I'm slightly better objectively, but sacrificing the queen is not going to happen. That's a shame. Might have to try the next game. Yeah, if you're wondering why black's a bit better here, I've got the rook on d8, which is slightly better than my opponent, so that's already a little start. Also, my knight's a lot better. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'm getting myself a bit distracted here, but I'm really tempted to just go for it because oh, should I? It's probably not a very good move. Yeah, come on, let's do it. I'm going to play g5. I mean, let's be honest. Black's position was better after anything. Bishop c5, queen d3, queen e4. All these moves are just better for black. But that was the move that put me off playing it. I didn't play it because I thought I didn't want to play it because I thought he might find this move, queen f5 check, and to his credit, he found it. So I gotta give credit where credit's due there. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the position was just better. I could have just gone into an endgame with queen d3, but I've got to try and make something here. So we've gone for I've gone for something quite speculative that shouldn't be very good. Don't know if it's going to work out. My opponent giving me a few chances back into it here because I can still go for an endgame with queen d3, and objectively perhaps I even should, but I just want a brilliant checkmate. Is that so much to ask? A brilliant checkmate? Anyway, let's see what happens. Knight d2, that's a good move, and I'm starting to run out of excuses to avoid just going into the endgame here, which is a bit of a shame, but there's not much I can do about that here. Yeah. Worst thing is, my Finnish opponent, he's not that bad. There's no justification really for the moves that I'm playing. I shouldn't be treating him with what a professional player would here term some sort of disrespect, but it's not what it is at all. I'm just desperate to sacrifice my queen, but here I'm not managing to make it work. My opponent has played completely reasonably, and unfortunately for me, I think I'm going to have to finally just go into this endgame. That's disappointing. That is disappointing. Oh, well, not to worry. I tried to make something of the position, but sometimes there's only so much one can do. So here we are. We're in an endgame. The endgame is slightly better for black anyway. I've still got better control. I've got that outpost on d3. My rooks are slightly more active, so there's no reason that I should realistically complain, except that I didn't get anywhere near the attacking chances that I was hoping for. My opponent doing everything right here, just keeping the position together, but I should be able to make some good stuff happen here. And I wonder about bishop somewhere. Now I'll just play rook e6 first and see whether he plays knight g3 or not, which is the natural counter. And then I'll just play c5. And yeah, I think I'm probably picking up some material here. Probably just a pawn. But I should probably just take it and stop messing about here. Start showing a bit more professionalism to my play. Yeah, he had too many pieces cluttered on the center files there. I mean, this was the sort of consequence that could be expected when white typically tries to play in a very restrained and danger-averse manner against the Scandinavian. That's one of the best things I think about my opening is that if people try to dodge the critical lines, black doesn't just equalize, but usually gets a better position, which is a nice little reward for your bravery, I think. And that's sort of what's happened here, although I couldn't make the brilliance emerge that I was hoping to. That's a good move, actually. Rook f3. Yeah, I can definitely give some credit for that move. Although, rook e1 takes. Yeah, that's a good move. Rook e1. That's a bit unfortunate for my opponent because I quite liked his move, but now he's in a bit of trouble, I think, because he's dropping. Oh, I thought he was dropping something, but maybe everything's fine. Ah, that's a shame. Did I mess up? Maybe I messed up there, actually. That's unbelievable. Here we go. I knew this would happen at some point, that I would mess things up, and that seems to be now. Although, to be honest, this position looks pretty good for me. I might take that pawn off, and I think I'm going to win this one, but it's going to be a bit of a grind. Material's equal, but I think g2 is going to drop. There she goes. g2 drops, and I'm going to pick up a bunch more pawns here. Yeah, I'm going to be 2 pawns up, and if king d2, which may well happen, then rook a3 will pick up another one. So 2 pawns is too many in this position, unfortunately for my opponent, who put in some really quite brave resistance there, but resigns at the appropriate moment. Whew, things got a little bit close there, but I'm still at 100%. Come on, guys. This is I can't do this twice in a row. Surely not. All right, still haven't sacrificed my queen. I tried so hard that game. Good to play someone from Finland, actually. I was, last weekend, I hung out with Finland's #1 player, Tommy Nyback, who plays in the same German team as me, Werder Bremen, in the German Bundesliga. He's a good guy, Tommy, and he's been the #1 player in Finland for quite some time. And yeah, we have a good old time in the German league together. We've got quite a mixed team, actually, our team. We've got Luke McShane from England, Edward Rahman, he comes from France, and who else we got? We've got a couple of other guys who escape my mind for the moment. Got some from Czech Republic. Anyway, I'm drifting a bit. We had a Piet's defense here, e4, d6, which has morphed now into a Grand Prix, which is something a little bit strange, a Grand Prix anti-Sicilian. I'm trying to play it in, I don't know why, given that I'm supposed to sacrifice my queen, but I'm playing in quite a restrained manner at the moment, because typically you go for a big crazy attack, but here I've done nothing of the sort, and instead we've got this oh, it's almost like a positional way that I'm playing things. It's not typically the way that it should be played if you are white. Usually should be a little bit braver than I'm being here. There we go. I'll play a g4. I played g5 in the last game. It wasn't that bad, so I'm going to go for a g4 here. Still haven't quite decided which side I'm going to castle on, but that's a decision for another moment, I guess. Now, typically, if your opponent's king is in the center, and they go for a flank attack like this, you should go for a central attack as quickly as you can. I wonder... Yeah, let's be brave. Come on, let's castle queenside. This is what... Who was it who did the castle queenside against me in one of the recent games? That was very brave. Actually, here it hasn't worked out particularly well for me. Actually, I got myself in some trouble. Knight b6 and things are not looking so good for me here. I did it too. Oh, I have to go back to c3. That's not so good. Now rook b8, and I really don't like my position. This is not what I was hoping for out of this game at all. f8 is just causing me grief at the moment. My attack is so far behind my opponent's. Come on, where's the reward for being brave? E6. See, that's too meek. Whew, that's good. I know. Ooh, I thought it was too meek. Maybe it's okay, but usually you should be a bit braver than that. My opponent seemed to be playing a little bit too restrained, and I think I'm tempted to go for f6 here, and I think I'll do it actually. c4. Yeah, but you better mate me, because if you don't... Ooh, what's happening here? What if I take with the d pawn? Then what happens? Take, and queen goes to somewhere. Haven't worked out where yet. What have I done? Maybe I could have played this better. Queen f4 takes, queen h6, knight c4. Oh, man, I can't work this out. Why can't I work this out? All right, I think I can do it. I haven't quite worked it out, but we're going to find out. Hey, wait a second. No. No. That was bad. That was bad. Oh, no, Dave. No. Oh, dear me. I just completely miscalculated, and now I'm getting mated. Am I? Is it over? Is there any hope? I think I'm just totally lost now. Totally lost. Oh, he's played king there. Whew, that was close. Man, oh man. That was not good at all. Okay. Come on, let's try and bring back some semblance to this, because that was way too close for comfort. Sorry, I should be commentating more on what's happening. If my opponent had have played knight c4 check there, maybe it wasn't working. Oh man, I can't work it out. My head is totally gone. Maybe my opponent's actually doing everything right here. Whew, close stuff. And now, hang on a second. Hang on. Oh, is he going to do knight c4 check after I go queen h6? Can he do that? Maybe he can. Oh, I'm running out of time. Ooh. Maybe he can't. Maybe he can. Oh, I can't work it out. I only got 20 seconds left. Oh, dear. He's gone rook g8. I can take it. What's he going to do? I don't understand. Oh, he's resigned. Okay. Wow, that was going to be the worst piece of Banter Blitz commentary I've ever done. I apologize profusely. My mind was all over the place there. Oh, man. That was just, I don't know, not working out for me. Fortunately, f8. Fortunately for me, f8 blundering right there at the end. I was just hallucinating the entire time. I thought he could play knight c4 check, but I guess I could just take it and play king c2 after queen b4 check. So I don't know what was going on there. Weird. Weird stuff. I can't believe I'm still on 100%. You guys got to take advantage of these lapses in synaptic ability. Oh, it says I'm playing Trivial Pursuit. All right, let's. What should we try now? Let's try a Sicilian. Ah, don't give me that. Give me an open. I want an open Sicilian. Ah, just boring. All right, fine. I don't think I can even sacrifice my queen here, even if I wanted to. Can I play b5? Let's play b5. See what happens. Can you just take that pawn? I don't know what's happening to me today. Seriously, it's not working for me. I think he could have just taken the pawn then, couldn't he? Anyway, he's given me a little lifeline, I guess. Oh, that was just a weird game. Weird stuff. Okay, let's try and focus. All right, so we've got this closed Sicilian. I always find these a little bit boring, to be honest, but I guess objectively they're a reasonable choice for white. Keeps all the pieces on. He's done the right thing by trying to swap off my bishop, and he's going to try and launch some sort of attack, which could get a bit exciting, I guess. We'll just see whether he can make that happen or not. At the moment, not. I'd like to get the move c4 happening, but he's probably just going to play b3 and shut that down. Knight d4. Maybe I should play knight d4. That looks pretty good. Yeah. I usually find these positions, like I said, they're a little bit boring, but one of the good things is that black has a bit more space than he usually gets in other openings, which I find quite comforting. I like space. But now I've got to give up my piece. My, oh man. Somehow my opponent's done pretty well, and I don't like this very much. I'm going to swap a few pieces off because I don't really know what to do here. It's just not exactly what I wanted. He should go bishop f3, I guess. What is he thinking about here? Is he going to go queen e3 maybe? No, he's going to go queen d2. Yeah, seems okay. Why not? I'll go queen b6. I'm very worried about an e5 push. I have to say, white's got pretty much everything you could hope for in this opening here. And he's got the kingside attack happening. I haven't managed to break through on the queenside yet. I've been a bit slack, actually, getting my counterplay together. Yeah, now move like knight e3 or knight... Yeah, there we go, knight e3. That's the one. That's the one. Ah, yuck, 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 yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And next move's coming is going to be f5. This is... Ugh, this is no good. This is no good. Man, what am I doing? I don't know. I don't know why I'm playing like this. Typically what white wants in these sort of closed Sicilian things is just to keep everything closed, hence the name, and just race for this huge pawn storm on the king side, which is what's happened here. And black's got to force some pawn exchanges to stop that from happening, but somehow I haven't got any exchanges happening at all, which is why my position looks so disgusting. And I'm really worried because what can often happen is these things is you just end up getting completely blown off the board. I'm going to try and find a way out here with c4. I've got to get some pawn exchanges happening, otherwise it's just over for me. But I can't really seem to see any way for that to happen. So I'm going to sacrifice a pawn. Realistically, the position was getting that desperate that it's probably worth sacrificing the pawn, but That just shows how badly things have gone for me. Now, he should take it. I mean, a pawn is a pawn here. That's his compensation for having played quite a reasonable game. So we shouldn't think too long about this. Should just take it off. What? Why did you not take it? I don't understand. You probably thought that I had something really tricky planned, but well, as you know, listening to me, I did not have anything tricky planned. He's still threatening to just blow me away in the middle here. I got to find a way to stop that, and I'm running super short on time now. I'm going to actually sacrifice a piece, I think. It's probably the only sensible option now. I mean that because if he plays f5, I think I don't really have much choice. Oh, if I sacrifice the piece, it's just over as well. It's not gone well. At least I got some pawns off the board. Okay. I'm going to stop rambling for a bit because I'm going to start really playing because my time is ticking, his time is ticking. There's f5. That's the big move that had to happen at some point. All right, I'm just going to take it off and see what he does. Probably should take that back with his e-pawn. I'm at big risk of getting mated here. I'm going to drop my king back in a second to h8, so it should be okay. He's got, no, you don't have enough time. You got to move, mate. Got to move. He's looking at e5. I'm sure he's looking at e5, which does look very dangerous, but he's just got to move. He's got to make a decision. Oh, he really ran his clock down and way too much. He's got to make a move. 3-2. Ooh, he's gone for the big sack. It might be okay, but he's got no time left. Got to play a bit faster than that. He's dropped on time. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Hey, Nej Metanov, he's written to me and he's told me that, in fact, it was the famous player Polygevsky played against him in the 18th Soviet Championship, Sochi 1958. And I think that's even the game that I was thinking about. Polyevsky, Nezhmetanov, 1958, where he's played the wing gambit against me. Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm getting distracted on a zillion different fronts here at the moment. Nezhmetanov saying that game, that Polyevsky game against Nezhmetanov, I think that's the one where he sacrifices the queen for two pieces. Brilliant game, if that's in fact right. So that's back 1958. Yeah, my opponent in the last game got a perfect closed Sicilian. Wow, I'm jumping topics in my head all over the place. And now look at this, a wing gambit being played against me. So it is all happening here at the moment. It's all happening. This is an exciting time to be alive. Okay. Wow, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Okay, so not sure what's going on here. I'm just going to keep getting my pieces out because I don't want to face the wing gambit as a wing gambit proper. I think is that dropping a piece? Oh, it's a queen sack. Is it a queen sack? Wait, is it take queen there? Oh, it's not really a queen sack because I lose my queen for two pieces. Oh, it's such a shame. That would be the perfect queen sack, but it's not working for me. Such a shame. Oh, well, no queen sack for me. That's a real blow. So I was going to play pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, knight takes knight, bishop takes knight, queen takes knight, but then bishop b5 check and things were not going my way. Things are also not going my way now. But I've got to get this queen stack in as well. Yeah, Nezhmetanov keeps telling me, yes, so that's Nezhmetanov, sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, one of the greatest tactical players of all time, a positive score against most of the world's top GMs back at that time, which was in the 50s. including, he says, and this trivia I did know, against Tal. So against Mikhail Tal, the former world champion, who was world champion around that time. And yeah, the game against Polyeski, worth looking up, was also he also had some great other games where he sacrificed a queen for two pieces. I'm sure if you Google it, there's Medzenov Queen Sacrifice. You'll find a bunch of examples on the web. Really cool stuff. Unfortunately, not something I've been able to emulate here tonight. I trapped a queen, but I haven't managed to sack one. Not since I missed that opportunity in the very first game. Talakin, we've played before Talakin on Banter Blitz. He's got that really nice portmanteau in his name, that combination of Tal and Alakin, two of the great world champions. Alakin, world champion three times or twice, I can't quite remember. And of course, Tal, the shortest reigning world champion in the classical era, if you don't count the Califman FIDE World Championship sort of stuff. I think Tal was only world champion for, I think it was less than 2 years actually before he succumbed to illness. Okay, back to the chess. I think things are looking pretty good from my perspective. I do still have that extra pawn. I think I'm going to do something a little bit wimpy here and offer an exchange of queens. Although that might actually just have lost a piece. I think he can actually take it and then play h3, and I think I've just blundered a piece. So that's not what the doctor ordered. He's going to do it too. Ah, this is no good. This is no good at all. So that is indeed a piece, I believe. What's the best way to sacrifice it? Sacrifice being a strong term, given that I'm just losing. But anyway. Problems, problems, problems. Yeah, well, just a piece down now. Yep, yep, yep. And now if he plays e6, I can pretty much just resign. Well, this could be the loss that I predicted was going to happen at some point today. This seems to be the moment. Let's see whether my opponent can finish me off. He deserves this one. He's played well. He's played knight f3, which is a little bit odd. Probably, I'm not sure why he did that. Position's probably still quite good, but yeah, that probably wasn't necessary. Okay, which way should I castle? Let's go kingside. We're both down a bit on time. He should be winning here. Rook g1 should just be winning. Let's see if he goes for it. Like I said, it should just be winning. He's going king up instead. I don't know. He seems to be taking a few more risks here than he should be. I don't understand what he's doing. Should still be winning. Bishop b5 here should be the move. Bishop f5 he's gone for. It's also quite good. Like I said, his position looks good for him. Should be just a matter of finishing me off now. Rook g1 looks like the way to go. And he's done that. So that's good. That's a good move. I'm going to drop my... what should I do now? Maybe I'll play d4, try and block things up a little bit. Does look like my opponent's just winning, but he's running really short on time. I don't think he can get away with this. And now I've got this bishop e3 check. He probably missed that. He's giving me some chances. He's down to 5 seconds, Talakin. Ooh, that was close. Now he's given me real chances. Real chances have come out of nowhere. He still has quite a decent position. I'm going to try and scare him. He's lost on time. Oh, that's such a shame. I think with e6 there, he had excellent chances of still surviving. Completely outplayed me, Talican. Oof, that was a close one. Unbelievable. Wow, thanks for the game. That was a good one. Whew. Was that the closest I'm going to get to losing tonight? Somehow I doubt it. I think there'll be more. So Chess 64 then from the States. Wow, that was a good game. That was a goodie. All right, how am I going to sacrifice my queen? That's the real question here. Because it's got to happen. I've got to find a way to sacrifice my queen. What am I going to do here? Knight takes c6. I used to know some theory about this once upon a time, but I don't anymore. I used to be good. But I don't remember anything about this anymore. The old Petrov. And Nesmetanov still telling me all this interesting trivia. I don't have time for it anymore. I got to play chess, man. I got to play these games. Can I play Queen H5? Probably not. Probably have to take this bishop off. Are we going into an endgame? Because then I can definitely not sacrifice my queen if you swap it off. Oh, give me a chance to keep my queen on the board, which I better do if I'm going to sacrifice her. Oh, that queen should have gone to b3. Oh, that was the square, b3, and then bishop a3. Yeah, that would have been good. Missed a good chance there. A bit of a shame. Bit of a shame. Still, not so bad, is it? Come on, put that bishop on a3. Can't complain too much here. This position seems quite okay, I would say. Rook d1. Yeah, look at all these moves coming with tempo here. I just need to get h4, h5 in, which might be a little bit tricky. But I'll play... Oh, could be a chance to sacrifice a pawn here. Bishop b4. It's a bit tempting. Probably not very good. But bishop d6, oh, that's going to run into knight d7, and that's not going to be good. Oh, that's a nice trick, actually. Okay, let's try that. If knight d7, my trick is bishop b4 back again, a switchback, I think it's called. Although he plays queen c7 and the switchback does nothing, so it's not very convincing. In fact, I think he can just go knight d7. So that's not a very nice trick at all. Actually, now I have some problems with my e5 pawn. It's not obvious to me how I'm going to keep it alive. Perhaps I'm not. Things were going so well. I don't know what happened here. And there we go. There's knight d7. There's knight d7. There's knight d7. All right, I'm going to try and scare him just by doing a quick repetition of moves. Yeah, but he's too quick for me, so that was kind of also useless. All right, now I sacrifice the pawn. No draws today. Ah, bishop h5. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Whew, that was close. Close because I missed it. All right, rook e1. So I sacrificed a pawn for really not very much, but no draws. No draws. Yeah, that's a good move. Just bringing the queen back. And now it's time to start my attack. If ever there was a queen sacrifice potential, it's coming up here. Oh, look at this. Yeah, look at this. Look at that bishop on d6. What a monster. So is he going to go knight f6? I think yeah, he feels like a knight f6 sort of guy to me. Let's see what he does. And what am I going to do after knight f6? Maybe I'm going to go rook d5, maybe. Maybe I can go rook d5. Maybe. Yeah, knight f6. I know your type. All right. Now, what did I say? Rook e5. Yeah, let's do that. Rook e5. I'm a bit worried about my back rank. Back rank's a little bit weak. It's a bit concerning. So, but I'm going to try and brave it, play bishop d3 rather than make Luft with h3. God, it must be so close to the big queen sacrifice, but I just can't get it to work. But it must be getting closer and closer and closer. All right. I just know I'm going to fall for back rank mate here. I've got to be careful of that. Threatening queen takes f6. It's not clear to me how he's going to deal with that threat. Oh, queen takes f6 would have been such a great move on the last move if it worked. It must have been close. And he's only got, well, he's got 19 seconds left. Oh, queen sack, queen sack, queen sack. Queen sack. Oh, why don't you work, queen sack? Why don't you work? I can't believe he's going to get away with that move. Take, check, take. Unbelievable. Seriously, unbelievable that he can get away with that. Rook g3, take, g6, check, and takes, and okay, rook g3. Knight d5. Oh, I didn't think you could do that, but you did, so maybe you can. But I thought that was losing to something, but maybe it's okay. No time. Check and check and there's got to be a win here. Why can't I see the win? Why can't I see it? Oh, I think I found it. This has not been very convincing, but I think I got there in the end. Yeah. I don't feel very proud about this performance, though, somehow. But okay, a win's a win. We no queen sacrifice. Nesmetanov this entire time has been keep bombarding me with all this trivia about his namesake and has now predicted that I'm going to fall for the 2-move checkmate against him in our next match. Okay, I think that's enough of me listening to the chat. It's time for me to focus now because that last one was a little closer than I expected. Such a shame that I couldn't get the queen sack working there. It must have been super close. So chess Loch Ness it is then, and we're going to go down one of these Reti type systems that I never fully understand, but as people who've been watching Banter Blitz must know by now, I love me a bit of space, and that's what I've gone for here. Taking the space in the center. Everything should be okay, of course, for white, but I do like the space that I get from this system, so that's a good enough reason for me to pursue it. Of course, like I said, everything should be okay for you as well. You just got a normal type position. And I do like the 2 bishops if I get the chance. And here you've given me the chance for that. Maybe I'll take it on the next move. Wouldn't mind the 2 bishops. Particularly the dark squared bishop. We actually had a chat the last Banter Blitz. So if you're watching on YouTube, go back and check the last one because we had I think it was the last one. We had a big chat about which is the right bishop to take and which are the stronger bishops in a given situation. And here, I really want to get that dark squared bishop because you can see that a lot of the action that's about to happen is going to happen on the dark squares. And now my bishop on g7, unopposed, really dominating that diagonal from h8 to a1. So that's the other reason I just put my knight on h6 to send it into the f5 square, where it's going to control the d4 square. So the 2 bishops, yeah, could be an advantage. A lot of people see them as this huge, big, scary thing. I'm not so convinced, but I do like the idea of getting my opponent's bishop if I consider that one to be the one that's controlling the important squares. And here it's about the dark squares. My opponent instead has tried to mix things up by castling queenside, and I don't need any second invitation. B5, thank you very much. Let's do this. It is attack time, and I'm ready to go. Look at this. Look at this. That's what I want to see. Oh, I'm so excited. I had to scratch my ear. No, this is good. We've had so many games tonight with opposite side castling. It's when white castles one way, black castles the other way, which is usually a signal, attack, 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 go for it, which is what is happening here. Again, you can see as soon as he castled queenside, boom, you got to attack. Um, some of my opponents have showed a little bit too much restraint when opposite side castling happens. Usually, the general rule, in my opinion, is that you just throw caution to the wind and just go for it. That's usually what I do, and that's what I've done here. And you can see that knight actually did pretty well coming via the h6 square to d4. And now it's everything I was saying is making a bit more sense now. How much would my opponent wish that either he had a dark squared bishop or he had swapped off my bishop on g7? Because that baby is just ruling the school at the moment. This is exactly what I'm talking about now. I think bishop e6 could be a chance for a big sacrifice here if knight g5 happens, and I'm predicting my opponent's going to play knight g5, and then it's going to be wham bam, thank you, bishop takes a2. Oh, good prediction, Dave. Bishop takes a2. We're not going to get the queen sack, unfortunately. Still waiting for that baby to happen. He's got to take it, and then b3. I think he's got to go to a3, and then I just can't see a finishing blow. Although, well, he hasn't. It's a bit weird. Sorry for the sniffles. Regular readers will know that I sniffle quite a lot. Now he's got to go back knight f3. And could this be the queen sack that we've been dreaming of? I think so. Just can't get that queen sack working at the moment. And he's got to go back to knight f3. He's having a little bit of too long a think, I would say. Gotta move. Oh, I just want to sacrifice. Oh, he's fallen from mate in one. Oh, that's such a shame. Yeah, he's resigned before I can play it. I was trying to think of a way that I could sacrifice my queen and still mate. Ah, it's never going to happen. Oh, that's such a shame. But it was quite an instructive game, actually, because it taught us a few things there about the bishops, like I said before. And like I said, check out that last game that we had. All right, Stone Castle. Now, Stone Castle always says from Vatican City is a serious opponent. So I'm going to take this one very seriously indeed. Good rating, good player. And we're going to get a mainline Steinitz French. Nothing funny happening here. We're in the serious stuff. Bishop e7, queen d2, main line, been played a zillion billion times before. And trying to remember my theory. I can't quite remember it, actually. Bit of a shame. But I think, I'm trying to know, was it bishop d3 here? What was the move? I cannot quite remember what I'm supposed to do. I think it's bishop d3, but it escapes me a bit. Actually, now that I look at it, it definitely wasn't bishop d3. I'm not sure what it was, but it wasn't that one. What was I supposed to do there? Maybe it was queen f2, but this wasn't right. This is not what I wanted. I lost my light squared bishop, and I wanted that light squared bishop. So this is, yeah, this is not great. Not great at all. But you know, when it's blitz, time counts for a lot as well. And here I've got a 40-second advantage, which is typically in these sort of games, a minute advantage is about worth a pawn, I'd say. So I've got about a pawn's worth in terms of the time, and that's something, if nothing else. So my opponent taking a little bit too long here gives me a chance to move very quickly, just try and confuse him a little bit. I don't have much substance to go on here, but just to try and make his life a little bit more complicated than it otherwise would be. Um, yeah, I've pretty much decided that this game has to be done on time. I'm probably not going to win it through conventional means, but that's okay. We've been here before. All right. D4 was actually quite a good move. That's a surprisingly good move by my opponent. He wants to open things up for his bishop, so that's what he's gone for here. I think he's going to follow with knight takes e5. And yeah, he's just probably I should have played an f6 move there. Might be is it a bit late for f6, or can I still? Whoops! Don't knock the table, Dave. Can I still play f6 perhaps here? f6 take. Probably not. Take. Yeah, let's play f6 anyway. I don't know if it works, but like I said, I'm going to try and win this one on time, so I've got to try and confuse him. Now, he should just be able to take that guy, and I think he really needs to take that guy, but he's going to have a bit of a think first. And now I realize what he's thinking about. He had this move, bishop c5, that he could have done, which would have totally ruined things for me. Instead, I've been allowed to live a little bit here, and he's going to get his bishop to the diagonal, which is something, but still takes. Oh, can he do that? Bishop. Can I do my bishop g5 move? Is that working? Knight d6, is that working? Oh, he's playing well, this guy. He's playing quite all right. I'm still trying to win this on time, but it's not really paying dividends for me at the moment. I'm going to do something a bit risky here. I'm going to play bishop g5. Not really a queen sack. I hope this works, otherwise I'm just losing. Oh, I think I'm just losing. It doesn't work, does it? Oh, maybe it just does work. Well, let's see. This is going to be very close indeed. This is going to be close. Okay, so take, knight moves. That's not working, so it's got to be rook d1, but then bishop b7 and I just resign, or what? He's got a weak back rank of my my time advantage has really popped down to 30 seconds, but a 30-second time advantage when we've only got this much time remaining each is quite telling. I've got double the amount of time of my opponent, and he keeps giving me chances here, and that's what I want, and he's just made a bad move then. He should have swapped rooks and then played bishop b7. He's finally given me some big chance in this game, because I can get that pawn off the board. I still don't know. There we go. Oh no! He's played. The two of us just played bad moves. He should have gone to f5 with the knight. He's given me a tiny little chance to make something here. Man, this game is just going back and forwards. This is crazy. He's got to go h6. I don't know what he's thinking about. It's the only move. Everything else loses. There we go. He's played h6, and now I've got to march this pawn up and hope to block his king in. I think I'm in a bit of trouble here, actually. I could have played this knight takes h6 move. Is that... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. What's going on here? Is he going to play... He's gone for h5. Oh, that's a bit risky. Is it a bit risky? It looks a bit risky to me. Maybe it's okay if I take it. Oh, he's going to take. He's going to try and play quick now. It's probably a smart idea, actually. What am I going to do? I need a good move here. Rook g8 maybe. Oh, I'm not so sure about that. Yeah, that's a good move by him. I've got to try and get my king up. He's almost in a mating net now. So close to a mating net. If I could get my knight to f6, it'd be mate. But now rook h8 is mate. Oh, he shouldn't have done that, I don't think. He had to go knight e3 there. Sorry, I'm drifting again on my Banter Blitz. You've got to excuse me. I'm a little bit nervous. And oh, he's allowed a nice sneaky little checkmate. That's a pretty one. That's a pretty one. Oh, I'll take that one. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Man, oh man, I think that should have been a draw, actually. I just tried to trick my opponent with a couple of little swindly type stuff there, which is managed to keep me alive at 100%, which is quite phenomenal for me. But I think it should have been a draw there. Wow, how weird to get that structure with a bishop on e7 and a knight on d8 and a rook on f8. You don't see that very often. That was odd. All right, peaceful death. You're up. And should we have another Smerdon Scandinavian? I think we should. I didn't really get a very fun one last time, so hopefully we get a bit more of a fun one here. I don't want anything boring like knight c3. Peaceful death sends the automated greeting to his opponent. Wish you a peaceful death now. Well, hard to argue with that. Unbelievably, we have the same opening that was played 2 days ago in the game Caruana-Akobian, first round of the US Championship. I think Caruana was totally surprised by the choice of his opponent to play the Scandinavian. Really weird choice. Of course, Caruana being Caruana, he quickly recovered and took advantage of things, and things did not go very well for Akobian. Caruana making a nice victory to start his campaign at the US Championship. But it was very interesting for me to see that opening actually make it into the elite level, so to speak. Okay. Can I go for any sort of crazy attack here? I'm not getting a queen sacrifice happening. If I'm going to get a queen sacrifice happening, I've got to attack. So let's go for it. Oh, I should have seen that one coming. Should have seen that one coming. That's a bit annoying. Why didn't I play knight d3, the correct move, and take the bishops? I don't see how I'm going to sacrifice my queen here either. It's probably just not going to happen. If I get h3, things are looking very good indeed. So he's probably got to play h3 himself here. I don't know what he's thinking about that. I think it's pretty much the only move. I got the bishops, but like I said, they're not always as crash hot as they're made out to be. Maybe he's thinking about d5 here. d5 is a bit of an interesting try. Now he's gone for h3. That's the sensible move. Yeah, bishop there. That's a good move. I just missed a chance to take a pawn. That was a bit silly. I don't think there's going to be any queen sacks here as far as I can tell. Oh, I really want to play g5, but I'm pretty sure it's a bad move. Oh, it's so tempting, g5. So tempting. Oh, you guys, you know what happens when I get tempted by these things. It's got to be a bad move, though, hasn't it? Oh, I just want to play g5. Is it so much? Okay, look, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to play bishop takes, and then I'm going to play g5. Oh, but this is a worse version. Now he's got d5 that he can play, and d5 is going to cause me huge consternation, I think. Yeah. Oh, 95. That's also a good move. No, this has not gone well for me. My opponent's played this really well. I'm going to have to bail out, unfortunately. It's a bit cowardly, but I think, yeah, this is not the way that things should have gone for me. So bail out it is. I'm going to end up in this weird endgame. It's a bit boring, but on the other hand, I kind of like my 100% score. I'm going to try and hang on to that for a bit longer. Yeah, this endgame actually looks pretty respectable, I think, for me. I quite like it. I'm going to try and make a weakness on the white queen side. First of all, just want to take the c5 square for myself. Then I'm going to swap some rooks on the d file and try and pick up some pawns. That pawn on e5, that's the real problem. It's a serious weakness. I've just been informed. This is the last game for tonight. Oh, it's such a shame because I got Nezi, that Mitanov, has been telling me, come on, let's have one more. He wants a queen sack for the final game. But unfortunately, everyone, this is the last one. So unfortunately, that means I have no queen to sack. Unless I can promote one and then sack one. But that's a bit of a shame because I did promise one, and that's a bit of a letdown. So I'm sorry about that. And in fact, this is the last game for tonight, and it looks like it's going to be a tiny little bit boring, which I apologize for. But there's only so much I can do to control these things. But yeah, that's the right move to play g3. He does the right thing there. But I think it's not going to be enough. We'll soon find out. But I think, yeah, he should have played f4 there. That e5 pawn has just been so weak. And now's the chance for me to start cleaning things up. So I'll get rid of that guy. And now it's time to start work on the queen side. I apologize that I didn't get to sacrifice my queen. I'm getting far more comments about this than I would have predicted. So I'm sorry. You know, such is life, which somehow we will live, we'll learn. But that's it. This is the last game. We don't have any more time. So let's see whether I can finish tonight with 100%, which, like I said, by my standards, would be something a bit special. So far, it's looking pretty good. It's going to be a bit tough. My knight has got into a little bit of a tricky situation, which I don't really like. But I've got that extra pawn, which should be good. getting so many comments about this. It's quite unbelievable. I'm sorry. There's not going to be any more games. Even if you give me every opportunity possible for me to sacrifice my queen, it's not going to matter. But thank you anyway for your comments. Oh, my knight is getting in all sorts of trouble here. Look what you're doing by distracting me here. How do I... What have I done? Jeez, you guys, I'm going to blame you for this. What am I going to do here? As the nose keeps running, I'm going to bring that guy back to c5 because I'm running a bit short of time. I think I've got to get the knight somewhere where I can hit the pawn on f4. It's a little bit of technique required to finish this off, and I hope I've got it in me. A very good comment from Peaceful Death that I'm sure he won't mind me passing off. He says he's dying here, but not peacefully, and I can feel his pain. It looks like he's suffering a little bit, but he is grimly, pun intended, he is grimly holding on, trying to make my life difficult. You've got to appreciate the courage that he's trying to show here. It's a tough situation, but he's doing a really good job of things, and I'm desperately trying to grind this one out, but it is a tough ask. We're both out on time. He's been suffering so much, but I have a feeling that now things are not going to go his way because my knight is going to get to the key points, and now he's not going to be able to hold on much longer, I think. He's going to drop that pawn. And resigns. Peaceful Death goes down, perhaps not as peacefully as he would have liked. I apologize that I wasn't able to get the queen sack in that I promised. The queen sack opportunity was there in the very first game. Can I believe I missed it with the move e takes f6? So go back and check that one out if you're wondering what we're talking about. And I managed to pull 100%, which is very rare for me. So I'm very happy and apologize at the same time. Hope you enjoyed the banner tonight, and you guys are great. Really, I enjoy the back and forth we have in the chat and also on the tells. So thanks a lot for that. And yeah, so stay tuned for ICC events. Like I said, we've got a little bit later on tonight, or perhaps already started, the US Championship Round 3. So look into that. More live events on the calendar. If you're watching on YouTube, there's plenty of live action happening on the ICC channel, but there's also plenty more videos on the channel here on YouTube. So stick tuned for that. Thanks again for the game. I've been your host, Grandmaster David Smerdon. Sloppy on the chessboard and apparently sloppy with my English at the moment. So it's a good time to say good night, farewell, and I'll see you next month. Cheers.